So, you want to hear a story? I got one for you. I think you're going to like it. In the fall of 1894, a traveling carnival rolled into Bradford County, Pennsylvania. Locals called it the Scarlet Midway. When a traveling carnival arrived in town, people expected noise, music, laughter. Remember, there were no TVs, no streaming services. The carnival promised an exciting evening for the whole family. People in towns across America waited for the arrival of the carnival and showed up in record numbers when it did. This carnival was a ragged string of tents, flickering gas lamps, and oddities. But among the fire eaters, the fortune tellers, and the animal trainers, there was one attraction whispered about more than any other. A place parents warned their children to stay away from. A place the carnies refused to speak of. They called it the Butcher's Tent. Welcome to Now It's Dark. In the 1890s, traveling carnivals were untouchable. They moved constantly. They answered to no local authority, and when they left town, they took their secrets with them. One such carnival appeared in the Midwest under different names, but locals remembered one attraction clearly: a medical curiosity exhibit known as the Butcher's Tent and run by a man who called himself the Anatomist. The Butcher's Tent stood further from the others, away from the crowds. The canvas was a deep rust red, stained darker near the bottom. This tent had no barkers, no music, just a faded canvas flap and a wooden sign painted with crude illustrations, not words. A single oil lamp burning low cast an uneasy glow across the entrance flap. Inside the tent were preserved human organs, skeletal displays, and anatomical oddities. The man running the tent wore a blood-dark apron and spoke softly, like a teacher in a classroom. Visitors said they never saw him smile, and he never explained where his exhibits came from. That fall, 3 locals vanished. One a teenage boy, one a farmhand, and the third a traveling salesman. People that could be forgotten. Rumor said that the last place anyone saw them was near the butcher's tent. Gossip moves fast in small towns, but fear travels even faster. Parents demanded answers. Townsfolk demanded searches. But carnivals didn't stay long. And so Sheriff Sam Whitlock decided he had to do something. One cold October night, he rode out to confront the carnival owner. Witnesses would later say they saw the sheriff march straight toward the butcher's tent and vanish inside. Inside, the sheriff found something strange. The space was too big, far bigger than the tent looked from the outside. Tables lined the walls, covered with metal tools and surgical equipment and items the sheriff did not recognize. Hooks hung from the overhead beams, empty but swaying as though someone had just brushed against them. And then he saw them. Massive iron racks arranged in the center of the tent. At first he thought they held sides of beef, but as he stepped closer, the shapes hanging there appeared wrong. They were too long, too thin, too human. That's when a deep voice echoed from the darkness. "You shouldn't be here." The sheriff spun around and saw a massive figure stepping into the lantern light. He wore a butcher's apron, old and stained, a leather mask stitched crudely together, and eyes that didn't look quite human. Behind the butcher, the sheriff saw something he would never forget. 2 of the missing men, alive, but barely. They were strapped to tables, dazed, whispering nonsense as if they had completely lost their minds. The sheriff backed away, and the tent shifted. The walls stretched, the ceiling pulled upward, and the ropes snaked like veins. This space wasn't just big, it was alive. Sheriff Whitlock ran, but no matter where he turned, he could not find the exit flap. Only endless rows of tables, hooks, and shadowed corridors that shouldn't exist in this space. The next morning, carnival workers found the sheriff's lantern lying outside the butcher's tent. The sheriff himself was gone. By dawn, the carnival had packed up and vanished. The butcher's tent was left behind. Inside, the displays were all gone, but the smell remained. Locals burned the tent where it stood. The townspeople searched for miles, but found nothing. Just wheel ruts leading to an empty field of frost. Days later, hunters found the sheriff's horse wandering the woods, but the sheriff was never seen again. For years afterward, towns along the old carnival routes reported the same thing. New carnivals, new anatomical exhibits, and people who vanished without a trace. No one ever proved the anatomist was real. No records list his name. No arrest was ever made. But carnival ledgers recovered decades later show something chilling. Payments continued to be made to a medical exhibitor long after the original carnival burned. Same role, same tent, different towns. And if you ever visit a historical carnival exhibit today and notice just how realistic the bones look, remember this: some curiosities were never meant to be displayed. So what do you think? Was the anatomist real? If he was he using the people who visited the carnival as displays in his medical oddities tent? Was he supernatural in some way? And what about the claims that the same tent showed up at carnivals for years after these events? Let me know in the comments. Like and share this video. And consider subscribing if you like this type of content. And thank you for watching Now It's Dark.